Tommy could pretty much become a poster boy for Forbes.
He's a New Yorker, all right. There's no question about that.
He thinks fast on his feet. He knows his business. He knows people, and he knows what they need. And so when you put that all together, that's a great New York combination. I think he offers a comprehensive study of someone's situation. He just doesn't come in, hear a few facts, make a decision as to which way to go, and then leave the scene. I think he's very much involved on the scene with the individual.
Different kinds of businesses, from well-known entertainers and celebrities to professional athletes, to people who own bagel businesses, to people who own wedding dress companies.
Psychologically, that's also a plus, because if somebody's not used to a large number, they kind of fumble with it. And when somebody knows how to deal with large numbers, you feel more comfortable.
When you're dealing with estate planning issues, people's families, people's lives, how they feel about their children, their philosophies, that's often a very, very difficult thing for somebody to talk about. Tom just has a wonderful manner about him that he's able to sit down, you like him immediately, you feel like you want to be open with him, but you want to talk to him, and I think that's very, very helpful in helping a client.
I mean, he knows what he's doing. He comes across with confidence.
He likes what he's doing, which is very important.
Absolutely.
Council president with over 1,691,000 of council credits, Tommy Archer.
Thank you very much. I go into the lobby and I said, you know what? Let me let everybody else go up. I'm going to stay down here and practice what I'm going to say. Elevator comes down, everybody goes up, I wait. Next elevator comes down, I get in it. Now, keep in mind, this is the first time I've been in an elevator since 4 nights ago when I was stuck for an hour. So I'm very nervous getting in this elevator. I get in it, I hit the 41st floor, and I'm praying to God that these doors open. And my eyes are focused on these doors. And I'm counting the floors. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. The elevator stops. As God is my judge, these doors do not open. I can't believe it. I'm thinking twice in 1 week. It's impossible, right? I start banging on the doors. I start trying to rip them open. I'm hitting the alarm button. I got the sirens going, the sprinklers. I'm going totally crazy, right? I'm yelling, help, let me out. Now I hear phones ring. I look behind me. It was one of those elevators that the doors open up behind you. That's the kind of guy I want on my team. Said, I want Archer to get this whole case. Now, I got that case because of that. Now, I'm not saying that it's always going to go that way, because it's not. There are going to be people who say, you don't show up, you don't get the case. But what I am saying is this. Regardless of how that turns out, I'm not changing my mind on what I'm doing. If my family needs me, I am there no matter what. They are number one on the list. Money's about 5 or 6. Thank you.
From the Long Island General Office, 2000 Council President Tom Archer.
Peter. Tommy Archer in 2000, when I saw him speak, and I don't know who all was there at Chairman's Council when he spoke, but he paced the floor with such an energy, didn't use a note. It was almost contagious. I can't remember exactly what he talked about today, but I distinctly remember his delivery and energy. It like lit me up that time. And young lady, Tommy, when you charged me up and back in 2000, and Deep Impact, and probably of any of the talks, I've always enjoyed the president's talks. And you totally charged me up, I told you earlier, from your talk and your energy. I had this vision of you just all day long, making deals, you know, working quick, New York.
He's like, you see that? He's got that sign. So I'm saying, if this is what I got to do, you know? Next day comes, I go to his house. He's in a nice neighborhood in Long Island, but he's in a rundown house. I walk in, and he's sitting in a metal folding chair. That was the extent of the furniture he had in his living room. He's got on a ripped T-shirt, and he's sitting in front of a black and white TV set with the antennas up, and he's banging on top of it, trying to get the Yankee game in. So I'm thinking, strange, right? I look up, and his wife is at the top of the stairs, and she has a mattress under her arm, and she's taking the mattress down the stairs step by step. These people are in their late 60s, so I put my briefcase down, and I said, ma'am, can I give you a hand with that mattress? She said, no, Tom, that's not necessary. She says, I'm used to this. She said, this mattress is 45 years old. It's a perfectly good mattress, and we don't need a new one. And every other week, I take it down the stairs, I take out all the old newspaper, I fill it with new newspaper, and then John helps me carry it back up the stairs. So I'm thinking, great, right? I look over at John in a nice way. I said, John, you know, the seminar was for people who were worth $10 million and up. He said, Tom, I know exactly who the seminar was for. Take a look at this. And he hands me his financial statement, which he was very proud of. He had $50 million in municipal bonds, $25 million in the stock market, $10 million in cash. He had a $35 million business, and he had $10 to $15 million in real estate. I'm looking at that financial statement, and then I'm looking at that mattress. And I'm looking at that statement, I'm looking at that T-shirt. And he looks at me, and he knows exactly what I'm thinking. And he says, Tom, I don't like to spend a lot of money. I'm at my office in the city, I get a call from him. He says, Tom, you want to go to the U.S. Open? I said, sure, when? He said, today. I said, well, I have a suit on today, I was going to work. He said, well, cancel what you were going to do and wear your suit to the stadium. We'll have a good time. I said, okay. I hang up the phone, thinking to myself, where did this guy get tickets, right? I know he didn't buy them. I go to the stadium and I get online with everybody else to go in, and I don't see him. Then I get a tap on the shoulder. It's him. He says, Tom, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean? I thought we were going to see the tennis matches. He said, we are. He says, but I don't go in this way. I said, no? He said, no. He said, follow me. I said, okay. Thinking maybe he has VIP pass or something. I don't know what to think, right? So we're walking and walking and walking. Finally, we can't walk anymore because we're stopped by a fence 20 feet high with barbed wire on it. I'm thinking he made a wrong turn, right? But he didn't. He starts climbing up the fence. 67 years old, right? Before I could say anything, he's over the fence. I'm just staring at him. I can't believe it, right? He looks at me, he says, Tom, let's go. Now I got an expensive suit on, right? I said to myself, I'm in this case 6 months. I'm not going to quit in this case now. So I go over the fence after him. He says, we just got to crawl through this long tube. He squeezes through the tube. I follow him through. Now I'm filthy. He says, we got to go over this concrete wall. He pulls himself over the wall. I follow him over the wall. Up this ladder, through this hole, and we're into the stadium. Worst possible seats you can imagine, right? Bob Uecker, nosebleed seats. I'm sitting there. I got a ripped suit on. I'm sweating. I'm bleeding. I'm filthy, and I'm disgusted. I look over at him. He's happy as can be. Because he didn't pay for the tickets, right? Right at that moment, I could see the light bulb go on in this guy's head that he's starting to realize that you cannot pass that kind of wealth downstream without problems. Gift taxes, estate taxes, loss of control. He looks at me and he says, Tom, I think we should revisit that financial tool that you're so fond of. I said, a long story short, I finished up the process. I had some trust drafted. I showed him some numbers. And this man who wouldn't buy a new color TV set or a new mattress or a new T-shirt, we're hitting his checking account for $85,000 a month.
I didn't plan on laughing so hard that I was crying up here, but Tommy's tough to take.
But there are ceilings on what you can do. And you need to hedge your bet on a lot of these planning techniques. And people don't like to give up control. So at the end of the day, you need this. It's the great equalizer, life insurance. You can kind of do anything you want in your plan as long as you have the insurance.
Today, Tommy's dealing with some of the most famous people in America. As far as celebrity clients, Tommy's got some names you would recognize readily. And a lot of it, when watching Tommy, is the lack of fear of men, of man, not male, but he doesn't fear people with money. He doesn't fear people with power.
There are so many rich families out there, so many people who need succession planning, so many successful people who need estate planning. I mean, and the wealthy, wealthy, wealthy people in this world buy huge life insurance policies. Simple. They just buy it. And the fact is that if they don't buy it, their business goes down the drain, and we read about it all the time. And at the end of the day, these people needed it. And it let the business go smoothly. It let the transitions take place.
His deep conviction is very contagious.
Thank you for being a great audience.